Hello there, beautiful friends. I'm Black and Fist. Uh, well, I've been absent, haven't I? I know some of you have thought that might have had a terrible accident, car accident. It seems I've been keeping up with that, but no. I'm here to reveal that I am fine. Nothing that dramatic happened. I wasn't killed or had a, horrible fate. I'm still here, still breathing. Uh, and I'm here to tell you, I guess, what has gone on and why I've been so inactive. And, you know, for those of you that have been waiting for a video, anticipating my content, I know that it's been kind of a dry spell lately. And I kind of wanted to offer you an explanation before I got back in to the groove of things, because I felt that, you know, if I was going to upload more videos, it would just be weird if I didn't address why I've been so absent and gone these past couple months, really. What's been going on, And it's kind of, you know what the funny thing is, and to a certain extent, even I don't know, although I think I do. I think I'm starting to piece it together. Uh, but it wasn't immediately apparent what really happened. Um, and by the way, it's I'm just gonna say nothing like dramatic happened, nothing like of this sort. It was more my fault, just my mentality, my mindset. That really was it. And looking back on it, it's all really weak-willed, you could say, uh, showing my character flaws. But anyway, I guess we should start at the beginning, or at the beginning of what started to happen. And everything was going good. I suppose I was making videos, and maybe not the most frequent as other people, but I was doing it, and I don't know what started. I guess what started to happen is the first thing that happened was, I suppose, I got a little bit overwhelmed, because I had a list of videos, and I usually write down a list of videos that I do. It's very important because obviously you forget ideas, and it's very important to write them down so that you can read them later and say, okay, well, maybe that's an idea to go for. And obviously some video ideas are time sensitive. And what happened was, I was doing some videos that were time sensitive. This was last year already. This was like last year, and like, what was it? Like, it was like I think it was like in October or something. It was like maybe around October. I was doing some time sensitive videos. It was like around the end of the Future Trunks arc. Yeah, that's I remember it more by like the Dragon Ball Super, what Dragon Ball Super was airing at the time, which is kind of funny. And I was doing all these time sensitive videos, and what happened was I got behind on them. And when you get behind on a time sensitive video, what starts to happen is, because you kind of lost that window of opportunity, or at least I feel like, what's the point of making this video now? I mean, before, I've run into this problem before, and usually I hunker down and say, you know what, even though it's late, it's better late than never, and usually that's the right mentality to have. However, for a long time, and not just in videos, I have had another mentality, which is, I would rather do something like 100% right, or pretty much mostly right, or do it the way I wanted, imagined in my head. And if it doesn't go that way, as weird as this sounds and as completely bad as this sounds, I would rather not do it at all. And this extends to a lot of things that I have done in the past, not just videos. And it has been a real flaw for me, because obviously it's better to do something than nothing, right? And I guess I took this mentality into my videos. And what happened was, obviously, I lost a lot of motivation in doing these time-sensitive videos. So I stopped working on them completely. Because I was like, what's the point of releasing this video? And I still have videos in my computer, projects in my computer, that I have not finished yet. Which is, the mark of, I don't know, it's just a poor mentality, I suppose. But that's not all. If that was it, then that wouldn't explain my complete absence. I think that when you start giving yourself excuses like, oh, this video is time sensitive, it's no longer relevant, I'm not going to work on it. When you give yourself that excuse, when you open that window, it starts to creep into other areas, or even more extremely. And in my case, it started to just bleed into other stuff, to any video, and I eventually started to lose a lot of motivation and focus on making videos, to the point where I only started uploading super reviews. Because I don't know, man. If I was honest, if you probably told me at the time, I probably wouldn't have told you otherwise. But if I was honest with myself, I did lose a lot of motivation to do videos. I don't know why exactly. I honestly still don't know why. The only answer I could give you is that it was probably to two reasons. And these are probably my two biggest vices in my life. My two biggest vices are procrastination, which, I mean, I know a lot of people can have problems with that, but I feel like I can take things too far with that, and laziness. When I get focused to do something, I will work hard at it. I will. But that's not the problem. That's not the point. The point is when I too often am distracted. Like when I'm working on a video, I'm too often distracted by too many other things in my mind, and I'm not focused enough, and that causes me to be lazy, and it causes me to, of course, miss deadlines, like with those videos, like with those time-sensitive videos, and when that happens, it obviously it's not good, because obviously you need to keep getting these workloads done. And I'm not gonna say that I'm the hardest working guy in the YouTube community, even when I was at my peak, because I don't think I am. I think there are much harder working guys than me. Definitely. And I think that's probably one of my biggest weaknesses, is that my work ethic isn't that strong. It's not, what it should be, I suppose. But even that, I don't know if that's all of it, because around this time, I also started to retract. And and what I mean by that, I started to retract from a lot of things. I started to retract from my Twitter. I started to retract from just shit on the internet for me, for my Black and Fist stuff. I just started to retract from all of it, and I started to give you a perfect example is I usually like to keep in contact with guys like Quinn, guys like Danny, Geekdom, and all these guys. I around this time I was speaking to John at Anime Live Reactions, and I just started to not do that. I just didn't feel like it anymore. Just like I didn't feel like doing videos, I suppose. I just didn't feel like reaching out to everyone. And I know that around that time, and see, the thing is, and that was abnormal, I think, because ever since I've met everyone, like Danny or Quinn, I've known Quinn the most, I've always had an urge, hey, man, what's going on with your videos? What's going on with your life? I like to talk to those guys. Those are guys, Quinn and Danny, they're really my friends. I've met both of them in person, and quite honestly, I've gotten to know them pretty well, even if it was through the internet. We've gotten to talk so much over the years, especially with me and Quinn, that I viewed him as a friend. And that was kind of abnormal, I think, or something new that didn't happen before, because starting to, just not feel like I wanted to interact with anyone was, I guess, something that hasn't happened in that relationship. And I know that Quinn was going through a lot. He had his own problems, which I think were way worse than what I was going through. What I was going through was just all mentality based. He actually went through some stuff that I actually didn't know about until a little bit later, and I actually kind of felt bad that maybe I wasn't there for him when he was going through all that, and or maybe that I was ignoring him. I don't know. I don't know how that all went down. Kind of felt bad that I didn't interact with him at all, or anyone really, like even Danny or my Mike from Laughing Stock Media or Josh. I mean, I always like to catch up with these guys time to time, even if, since I do view them more than just like YouTubers or business partners on YouTube. I mean, I know these guys, and I don't know. I just felt like, I just didn't feel like interacting with people. I kind of felt like I was like regressing back to the way or regress to a previous version of myself where I didn't feel like interacting with a lot of people. And it wasn't just with like in my interactions with other people or videos, because I also saw it in my other things. I mean, I like to exercise. I like to do some like get some running in, get some like weightlifting in. I don't do hardcore weightlifting, or I just lift some weights. Just to keep the body up, maintenance and stuff. I think keep stuff. I don't eat the healthiest, so I mean, I suppose I should do something, right? And I just stopped doing that too. Around the same time, I was losing motivation I was really losing like motivation and focus to like make videos, to talk to the people I usually talk to exercise, things that I usually do, but I wasn't doing anymore for some reason. And I mean, like I said before, the only reason I could tell you is maybe laziness, but I feel like maybe that's not really all of it. I'm not sure if and honestly, this wasn't the first time that I've gone through something like this. And when I say all this, I feel like I'm so weak in my mind, so weak-minded that I can't focus. But it was not the first time that I went through something like this where I just felt like a lack of focus and a lack of motivation. I felt like this a couple years back, and it was like during 2000, like it was around the years of 2011, 2012. It was when I graduated high school and went to college. Around that time, I felt so directionlessness, so I didn't know where I was doing. I didn't know where I was going. I felt like I was running through the motions. I really didn't feel like I was doing anything I wanted. When I went to college, I felt like I didn't feel like natural there, and I kind of felt in the same way I felt now recently, where I didn't really feel like doing much, which is it's terrible, man. It's bad, man. And you know what really changed that? Because I remember around that time I felt like, because I remember I was going to college, and then I stopped eventually because I didn't reinstate anything. Like I felt like I'm paying this money, and it wasn't just me, it was my father helping me, and I felt bad, that my father was helping me pay for this when I didn't feel like, I felt like almost I was wasting his time and money. I didn't feel like wasting his money, so I felt like, I don't want that money anymore. I don't want that money, and obviously I just came out of it, and it was really bad, because, or it was bad in the sense of because when I came out, I came out to nothing, essentially. I was a bum, pretty much. Like, when I came out, and I was doing nothing. Essentially, I was wasting time. Which is another thing that I do too much, is waste time. And that was around the time where I started doing YouTube. It was and that honestly is what got me out of it, was doing YouTube and dedicating myself to at least something, and that was that one thing. And I felt that actually reinvigorated me, because I'll be honest with you guys, if I didn't start YouTube during that time of 2012, 13, I don't know what would have happened. I mean, I felt pretty empty. Like, YouTube filled a void for me in me. You know, I don't know what you would call it. It's my soul or something, but it felt like it filled something within me. I felt more fulfilled in life, honestly. I felt pretty empty at the time because I wasn't doing much. And I mean, YouTube gave me some feelings I never really felt before, too. It, like, when I got the success I did, the moderate success I did get, I mean, however moderate, it was the first time in my life that I actually, it was the first time in my life that I felt like I was actually achieving something. Now, it's not the first sensations of achievement that I've ever felt in my life, but in terms of how grand it was and just the size of it, I felt that YouTube was the first, like, nothing in school, nothing I ever did, like, maybe like win a basketball game or something, or, win some game and like with my friends or something. Nothing I ever did in my life felt like as fulfilling, as achievements as YouTube. Nothing. So when I got that feeling for the first time, it was a new sensation for me. And I think that's what really drove me through the past couple years. And I don't know if that kind of faded away. I don't think it did. Because even around this time recently, and sorry guys if I'm just rambling, perhaps I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about right now, but even even in these recent times when I just felt like I was wasting too much time, and I always felt like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I need to get back to this. I don't know what the hell, just because I have like a weak will or something. And that's something that really bothered me, recently, is that maybe perhaps the such, weakness of will or something. Perhaps it's not that. Maybe I'm mischaracterizing it or labeling it or something. But that what came to mind for me was the weakness of will, or the weakness of being focused, of losing the passion for some reason, and just retracting back in, I guess just in with me, just retracting into me. I've always been kind of an introverted person, and I relate, maybe this relates to why I was so, it just felt so easy for me just to like not talk to anyone. You know what I mean? Around this time. But anyway, I mean, sorry if man, maybe I'm rambling too much here. And sorry guys if this doesn't make any sense. I honestly don't know if this even makes sense to me, honestly. And yeah, I don't know, maybe this video is extremely unprofessional. I guess it's not. I guess it's just not I suppose I've released unprofessional things in the past, but maybe not to this extent. But I guess the reason I really uploaded this video was to inform you guys why, to give you a reason why. because even as I told you all this, I felt like there's no way I can just stop uploading videos. There, even in my weakest of times, I was like, there's no way I have to stop. The problem with me is like, oh, I'm gonna upload a video eventually. I'm like, well, shit, man, upload a video now. Upload shit now. Like, you gotta do it now. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You just gotta take your mentality, like, just do it right now. What are you waiting for? Is really the thing. So even in like my weakest, like even with losing motivation and focus, I still felt like I needed to do videos. It's just for some reason I just didn't do them right now. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it, I guess, tomorrow. Like, no, do it right now. Okay. And the reason I'm uploading this video is because, like I said before, and as I said before, the reason I'm uploading the video right now is because I wanted to give you guys an insight into why I've been gone. And, I felt like you guys deserve that, especially the guys, you guys who, probably if you're watching this video, you probably are interested in my content. And you probably were anticipating something from me, right? Because you enjoy my content and you like my stuff, right? And it was kind of a bummer for maybe a lot of you who did like my stuff that there wasn't any of my stuff recently. There was nothing for me to put out. And, I guess that kind of bummed you guys out. So I felt like the people that were anticipating my content, you guys deserve at least, I think, an explanation as to what was going on and why there was such such a famine of content from me, So, I guess that's really it. Be expecting more videos from me coming soon. I'm trying to reorganize how everything goes. I'm trying to rethink this whole video thing because rethink it in the way of making this way more efficient and making this way more effective, because quite honestly, even you could say I'm coming back, but I don't want to come back even to the way I was before when I was doing videos. I honestly want to do way more, And the thing is with me is that the problem I have is that it's not that thinking of videos or videos to do is the tough part, because I think of plenty of videos. It's just doing them. It's just doing them and more importantly, taking the time to actually do them and do them properly, I suppose. That's something that should really, that I'm going to do this time around, coming back, and probably this time around I'm probably going to try to get someone else to help me out with these videos. But honestly, before I get someone else to help me out, I think I got to get my stuff together, because obviously I'm the captain of the ship. This is my channel, so if I'm not in the right, how the hell am I going to expect? I'm not going to get someone else to do everything for me. That would be ridiculous, and that's not the way I want to go. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys at least understood some of this. Maybe this wasn't too rambly. So before I guess I ramble on even more, I'm Black and Vist, and I'm out, man.